Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Disillusioned Plays, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah.
Last time on the Great Ace Attorney, we had a turnabout. After we've concluded our summation examination, it turns out that most of the jurors were actually willing to come to our side of the argument, or at least consider the possibility that they hadn't heard the entire story. That led to the judge calling the witnesses back in, and we had a late realization that one of the witnesses, Mr. Bruce Fairplay, actually owed money to Magnus McGilded, giving him a very compelling reason to mislead in his witness statements, along with Mr. Beppo, who also apparently misled in his witness statements, on top of overcharging his customers their carriage fee, much to the chagrin of his guildmaster. But before we get back in, sorry.
What?
No, I thought Sarah was saying something.
Oh, I just went, naughty, naughty.
Naughty.
For Beppo being a naughty boy.
That was
Indeed.
almost a perfect intro.
Before we
last
get
hurdle.
before we get back in and see if Mr. Fairplay is indeed Mr. Foulplay, I am Taylor.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Pete.
It feels so wrong doing it that way.
Yeah.
I don't
And
like doing
if
it that
you-
way.
If you like what we do and want to see more content like this, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, ring the notification bell to receive notifications when we post new content, and leave a comment down below if you'd like.
Yeah.
Nice. The order. Let's jump on in.
Pete, shut it.
It's like,
There he is.
subscribe,
yes.
then comment, then like, and ring the bell. Let's do this.
Yeah, see, I guess he does still have some of his cane left, so he hasn't gnawed it all the way.
But
No.
does he have any of his teeth left?
That's true. He's
Only-
wearing his teeth down.
What he's doing, he's wearing down those upper teeth.
Yes.
Like his upper teeth, yes.
Your silence speaks volumes.
Actually, I'm making noises like...
Like a rabid dog.
You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
All right. Now, let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch.
A pinch?
A pinch?
But
You freaking what, mate?
Oh, Taylor.
Naughty. Gavel noises.
Taylor, this is the one we don't swear in.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
wasn't-
So
yeah, it
I'm
wasn't
just
me
happy
this
it
time.
wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGildred's hands. Both of them.
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
The defendant.
Defendant.
I like how
Defendant.
Ryunosuke doesn't say objection. He just waves the sign and then...
Yeah.
Excuse me. Look at the side. And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence,
He's not
is
Mr. Bean.
stained.
So you keep saying.
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir?
Go ahead, Mr. Furst.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens.
Are you sure?
Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think... yes! I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one.
Almost sure.
Almost.
It's not really very conclusive.
Well,
is
the
it?
thing is, though, if they're sure they saw it on both hands, then Magnus is basically in the clear because he only had it on one. Presumably, he reached over to touch the guy's wound and was like, "Oh, great Garny, but Jesus."
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? What? I am deceased.
It would appear that we are going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time I would like to know precisely what you did and did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes!
Yes.
I might finally have a chance to turn things around here.
Da 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 da. Witness testimony. What the witnesses really saw.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired. If that matters.
Yes, it does. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains. There can't have been anyone else inside that carriage.
But that's not true,
Or
because
we would
they have the secret compartment
Or-
underneath the
Yeah.
seat.
We would have all seen. We all would have seen. Well, lo and behold, in truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. No. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. Oh, it looks like he peed blood.
Ew.
The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord.
And make it quick. I would like to catch the game.
I can't promise that. It's going to largely depend on how long it takes these three people to figure out what's going on.
Okay, so... So it didn't actually give us anything extra.
Add
when
it. What if we searched at the game?
Oh, you think... Again, okay.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Just in case. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Okay, wrong door. This one. Seat is a
The seat has a handle.
Oops. Ah, shit.
What the
Oh, now we gotta do it again.
Cusses. Wait, yes, it was a cuss. It was a cusses. Yeah, okay, handle. Go in. It's like, oh look, it's baggage and stuff. Blah 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 blah. Nope. No, I guess we gotta press, right? And then
Probably.
Guess so.
and go from there. So there was a blah blah blah. Why can't I skip the text? I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, no, not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains there can't have been anyone else
So let's
inside
press
the
him on
carriage.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus?
That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Oh, yes! I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin.
Oh? Why not?
Because I can't stand the stench of that Magnus McGildr and his riches. I positively cannot stand the man. It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
It was locked?
That's right! And it's a public bus service, for pity's sake! That's not what I call fair play.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because it's his
Yes,
name.
I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off.
He just joked at him. Why don't you clear off, Phil, you old mucker?
So I had no choice but to climb up onto the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
It's just like, oh, I wish I was in there, I do. Oh, I do.
Well, I can assure you, I wasn't just looking down. I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring, long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal.
Yeah, unequivocal.
Unequivocal.
Yeah, I was just making sure.
Unequivocal, I would say.
I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight?
Now
They
then,
might not have been able to.
So-
no, because the
They-
view from up top
does not
can
show.
only...
They won't be able to.
You can't
Yeah, they wouldn't be able
see
to see
those
the back
passengers.
chair, the back
Yeah.
seats. Look,
Yeah.
from the top where they're sat here, they can
only
look.
saw the
They can
two.
see the front where the blood is,
Yeah,
but they can't see the seat with the handle.
yeah,
So someone could have climbed out of there, did the thing, and then got back in,
yeah.
or whatever. So,
Might not have been able.
yes.
Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus
Well, yes.
and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck. Is that right?
That seat looks very grim.
Grim on the top.
Yeah.
It was like just a hard bench, or
Not that. There's like a distinctly butt-shaped stain on the seat.
oh, I missed.
Like there's
I missed
feet.
that.
There's like feet marks, but then there's a butt imprint type stain on the seat, and it just looks proper grim. It looks really dirty and horrible.
I have to say I didn't notice that. I'll have a look at it. We'll have to see.
I didn't see it either.
That's right, yes. Yes.
In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight for you.
What?
By golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection! Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh, so to speak, because it's made of wood.
Don't you mean in the wood?
Yeah, well, I just actually said that, so if you were paying attention, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, would we? Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand. Demand.
Ooh, what this?
You will identify the area on this cross-section plan of the omnibus that I quickly just drew up. quickly sketched up. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Here. Boop. There.
Yes.
Boop. Take that.
Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means... I like that all of them have top hats and are just sat posh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, absolutely.
The visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here.
Oh, you're quite a good artist there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Such perfectly straight lines.
Thank you. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat,
Boom.
it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection! It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
What?
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't bother.
I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck?
Yeah,
We don't know.
Yeah, I think we've got no idea. Because, yeah, there's obviously those two. He was the driver. These two were on the top. And I mean, aside from being like, oh yeah, this guy, or something, I don't think we've got a clue, have we?
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
I mean, unless we want to check the ledger again. I don't know if another name would be in there.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that when you've investigated a thing,
That's it.
like, yeah. Because this is all just one touch point.
I guess, in all honesty, we don't actually know.
No.
So unless someone's going to reveal something.
Yeah, I think we can't.
I have literally no idea.
But as a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all signs of tears are gone.
Beg pardon?
Go on.
This isn't just a case of going on, Mr. Zato. All right then, I'll go on.
She gave him the look. Like, behind that smile is like 1,000 daggers.
There's a
Sasato chop coming your way.
The defense would like to put forward
Sato
a name.
takedown.
Sasato takedown.
Oh, okay. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was...
Oh my god.
Is it Mr. Mason?
Well, no, because they said that they saw him, and he's in the picture.
Well, that was after the fact. Unless it was Mr. McGilded who was sitting out of view.
Well, no, they've been saying that they saw them both sat in the seat.
Just go to the picture of. Can we look at the picture?
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. Yep, that was me trying to go to the
It's unexpected.
Yeah, right, hang on. Okay, well, screw it. So we messed that up, but so there was this picture. But they said that and that seat is visible from the skylight because of where the blood is, right?
Right. So Mason did, but maybe McGilded did.
There was a picture.
No, that was their recollection, but nobody actually saw the moment that he was stabbed.
Just go inside.
Well, again.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
It's like the guy is still in there.
Look at the pictures.
I can't look at the pictures right now.
No, I don't mean the frames.
Oh, these?
Oh no, I just wondered if no, because the blood is in that seat, isn't it?
It's a good thought, though.
Because it looks like it's the poster. Yeah, you could see that one.
Whatever so-called logic you use to arrive at that conclusion, it matters not. Because your answer has made one thing abundantly clear. The real blind spot is inside your head, and it would appear to be unusually large.
Ugh, you could have just said that's not right.
Mr. Naruhodo, our task here is to defend Mr. McGilded. And we are working on the assumption that he is innocent of this crime.
Yes, of course. Why?
That must mean, then, that there was someone else inside the omnibus with Mr. McGilded. The true culprit.
That's right, exactly what I've been... Oh! Of course! So the two people sitting inside the cabin that the witnesses saw through the skylight that night, they were the victim and the real culprit.
It does seem as though we've been making a false assumption.
So, I mean, I guess then if we do a mirror and say, rather than looking at who it could have been, what we know, well, like what we've been told, look at it from the other way of like, well, who else could it have been? We know these two were sat on the top. He was the driver. He's the victim. He's the freaking prosecutor. Yeah. He's the accused. Susato's our partner, so it can't have been her. So it has to have been Strongheart.
Yeah.
Through process of...
No, it's McGilded. No, McGilded was the one that was sitting in the seat that was obscured by it.
Right.
That was what Susato was saying.
Right,
She was basically saying he was sat next, that the brickmaker was sitting next to the guy.
The killer.
They don't know.
Sorry, yes,
right.
yeah, you're right, yeah, okay, sorry, you're right, yep. Wrong process of elimination for me.
And I guess, his name is Male Strongheart. M on the knife. He probably would have been... I wonder if it's Strongheart's the actual killer.
Maybe. Would be interesting.
Yeah.
It's taken you 45 minutes to deduce that I was the killer.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. So we've all been making a false assumption.
The witnesses weren't looking at... Oh, there we go. McGilded at all. We just had to advance the text. Meaning he has to have been sitting somewhere else.
Well, no, what you mean is we had to advance the text and also just get something wrong like we have so that we can then get the answer.
This is not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
Kadosh. This could be it.
We've already read all that, yeah.
Yep. Oh, there's the music. Okay, well done, guys. I'm sorry.
Taylor, not...
I'm just an idiot.
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Muck!
Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant.
Yes, I do know that.
Objection!
Oh, God.
Have at you! But enough talk! Have at you! If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy!
How many of those do you have hallowed? I would think there would only be like one hallowed chalice, not two of them.
Lord Van Zeeks. People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly.
What are you trying to say?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand.
Well, that's just rude.
When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong.
What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord.
Okay.
Because the they swore up, down, left, and right that the assailant's hands were both bloody.
Yeah.
McGilded's hands only had one.
Yeah.
Therefore, they both can't be correct unless the assailant that they saw wasn't McGilded and McGilded was sat somewhere they couldn't see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection! Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
Yay!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection! And who was this third party?
Your mama.
How dare you, sir?
Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary.
Oh my goodness!
Order! 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 What exactly are you postulating? Objection! The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection! But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though.
He's not wearing gloves.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. Furst?
I'm afraid I don't remember.
Wow.
He remembers that they were hatted, but doesn't
not
remember.
what the kind of
but doesn't.
hat,
I mean,
the
to be
true
fair,
hatter.
if you look at his hat, though,
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's not exact. He doesn't really strike you as someone who.
He's what you might call a bad hatter.
Maybe.
Look at Fairplay just staring at him. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, excuse me.
He's just kind of giving him the side eye.
And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be sure?
Because if there had been, the accused, Mr. McGilded, would undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't.
Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. I do realize that I have never played an Ace Attorney game. So, I'm not prepared for something unexpected like that. I don't know. That the accused failed to even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
Foolishly.
Yare yare, as the Nipponese
He's
might
right.
say.
If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabinet of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! Order!
There we go. Oopsie.
There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord.
Of course you do.
On what grounds? As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord! Should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify? Or not?
I think we need to demand his testimony. I don't think we have an option.
I think, yeah, if, as always, anything else would be like, nope.
Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth.
Hello? The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand. I mean...
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury.
Yes. I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say.
Here, get the man out here, I say!
It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favourite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely.
Oh, yeah. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
Freaking, that single eyebrow. It's like,
Yeah.
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the ominous cabin as proposed by the defense.
Ominous
cabin.
Did I omnibus? Well, it is quite an
Ominous.
I mean, it was a bit of an ominous cabin at the end of the day, but not at the moment.
To be fair, it was indeed quite ominous. Second,
I literally read it as ominous. Sorry.
if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Just let me think about that for a second there, sir.
Begad, no! Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all. Son of a bitch!
Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I have been desperate about this all along. Do I tell yous all, or keep me mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right.
I'll not say that. Is absolutely right.
In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true.
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
Uh-oh.
You... What?!
You fool.
No! Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse can't save you now!
I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Just give me a minute. Just a minute. Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
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 If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this here courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. I'm just imagining like a dial-up noise in Van Zeeks' head.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection! We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. If the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
Oh!
What?
Bang!
Oh, smoke! Oh, fire! There's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away. After them. It's no use. I can't see anything.
What is going on?
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff! Bailiff, don't let the accused escape! Secure the omnibus! I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
Oh dear.
What on earth?
What is going on?
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in the desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Dun 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 dun.
Ay, ay, ay. It's getting pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit more hectic than Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some moments in Phoenix Wright that were kind of a bit like, whoo, but this is quite dynamic.
What on earth just happened in there?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened.
Oh, well, that's convenient. Miss Susato!
I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke.
Well, that's it. Yep. 2 things you must know about smoke grenades. 1, it is an exploding grenade.
Yeah, but you've got to remember
2, it releases smoke.
Sarah, listen. You've got to remember that Susato hasn't been brought up on years of Call of Duty, or Counter-Strike.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, people, we're talking about a small child or about a young person that has access to military weaponry. Is it possible that we could be dealing with Mukuro Ikusawa, the 16th student, the ultimate despair, hiding somewhere within the courtroom?
I'm getting PTSD.
Oh shit, son. Oh my goodness. Shall we continue?
I quit.
A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use.
They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But who would have done something like that?
The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why?
Well, it was a young girl of around 15,
Oh, no.
I hear.
Oh no! They say her name was Maya Fey.
Oh, God.
A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. Oh! What's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about. But he's not here!
I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions.
I just imagine like Van Zeke just literally just like slapping in the like smacking him in the face with the back of his hand like,
Yeah.
What are you doing? How dare you, you bastard! Just like
We're not supposed to be swearing.
The Ickle swears.
Yeah.
Perhaps he is a bastard child.
That's
It's not
rude.
no, I don't know. It wouldn't be a swear word, then it'd just be a fact.
Oh, fine.
Along with the young girl.
Who is she, I wonder?
Sir, who is she? She, sir, is Misa. I just, that's just a random
What
reference.
was she even doing here? Oh, is this little gadget girl?
Iris.
Iris Wilson. Don't know, maybe.
She was taking a huge risk. And for what possible benefit
Oh,
to
I
herself?
suppose with the smoke grenade. Like it'd be an
Oh, I
invention.
didn't think she was 15. I thought she was younger. I thought Iris was younger.
I don't know.
Let's just advance the text, perhaps.
There's another matter that's troubling me.
What's that?
The 20 pence.
Oh,
That little book, I don't know why, it just amuses me every time.
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo. Let me see. He took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly.
Yeah.
But now it seems
but
there
now
were
it seems there were, in fact...
sorry.
Sorry.
Excuse me. But now it seems there were, in fact, 5 passengers.
Okay, so this is going to be where that compartment comes in.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Beppo didn't know they were there.
Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
She's right. That is strange.
Counsel for the defence, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes, sir.
Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Don't you worry about a thing. We've
Well?
sorted that commotion Well and truly.
Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will have been asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial.
We'll know soon enough, Mr. Zato.
Yes.
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 Yes!
The old Bailey.
Yes!
Da-da-da. Oh, no. Okay.
No.
There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded, look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before.
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord.
I believe you have established the cause of the smoke, which failed proceedings earlier.
It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army.
Good gracious! The army? What in the devil's name?
It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand.
Your name, girl?
Dot 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 dot.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there. Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom?
No words.
What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
Ahem! If I may, my lord.
He doesn't speak a word of English.
Yes, Mr. McGilded. I dare say you better give that girl a talking to, or I'm going to get very cross.
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Please give your testimony. Ignorant.
Thanks a million.
Will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything.
Do-do-do-do-do-do. The young girl.
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra! A loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
It is exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the fifth passenger, my lord.
Dum 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 dum. Fifth passenger. Fifth passenger. Oh yeah, no, it's all right. I'm being stupid.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. Yes, but actually no. I have no idea where to start.
Your move, Nipponese.
Blah, 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 blah,
Okie
blah,
dokie.
blah, blah.
So, Begorra, Loud Thud, we scream. I think we're gonna have to press everything here. Well, almost.
It's interesting because, like, unless she revealed herself after, because she wouldn't have been able to get out while he was sat in the seat if she was hiding in the compartment.
Well, hiding her wee self away. She must have been hiding under the seat.
Yeah, she must have, like... How would she get out if he sat on the seat where the compartment is?
I don't know.
Well, he probably was looking for where the noise was coming from, lifted up the handle and saw her in there.
Maybe.
It is weird as well. You know, I know technically she's wearing a hat, so the guy saying, "Oh yeah, they were both behatted" or whatever it was, but it's such a different variety of hat than a top hat.
Right.
Right. Okay. So what are we doing then? Are we pressing everything, or are we just?
I think, well, we can press everything or we can press the last one.
All right. Screw it. We'll start here and work backwards.
You say she was hiding herself?
Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well,
It was love at first sight.
Oh, God.
that's gross,
Oh
pal.
God.
She's 10, you sick mofo.
15, wasn't it?
No, I know. I've only been...
Me heart nearly stopped beating in me chest.
Ah, you're really overacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under the...
Ah.
Okay.
Da 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 da.
and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there.
Oh, my God.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
That's nice.
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Presumably, that scream was Mr. Furst, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this young girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature. And readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
I'm going to ignore that one. After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses.
I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo.
So,
Very conflicted, Susato. Very.
so the thing is, yeah, he did say that he pulled her out from under there, but we still don't have anything to sort of, like, we don't have anything to say that, oh yeah, there's a secret.
We might need to advance the
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're gonna need to, well, potentially press the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then maybe it will disclose the hidden
I would
area.
think so.
Being the defendant's lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at his testimony, let's just say it's trying.
Oh yes, because he's on trial.
Oh.
He's being tried. I don't know.
We certainly had precious time to talk to Mr. McGilded before the trial. But we mustn't be dispirited. We must try to learn all the facts we can.
When we arrived in London this morning, I didn't see my day panning out like this.
Mr. Naruhodo, no grumbling, even in your head.
How do you know? How do you know?
I know that look on your face.
It's like I'm psychic, pal.
It's an ability that every judicial assistant has.
Yeah.
Totes back, promptly not. I mean, I'm not questioning that.
A third.
Okay. Screw it. I guess we best do it just to be sure.
And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
There were not.
Yeah.
The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the backside as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is.
Wow.
Cheeky.
Well, it seems like he's an ass man.
Can you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and what I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well.
Oh!
A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me up and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment you did hear a scream. Scream.
From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume.
As above, so below, fella. No, not above me, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. The screams were coming from inside the house. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? Jojo pose. 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Arach, Lord Van Zeeks! Now why would that be?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Cabman? Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Oh dear.
Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself into a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting we're just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no. I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only I had in mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside.
You mean you're literally talking out of your backside?
Oh, good gracious.
Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage.
Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember?
Oh
We've
my god.
already done that.
Twice.
We're already ahead of the game.
Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as
Oh, for
evidence.
But sadly, before we get to examining the omnibus,
We showed them the banana instead of the picture of the
we
banana.
did. Penalty! No. Sadly, before we get to examining, we are unfortunately out of time once again for this episode. Yes.
Ah, well, that's a shame, so it is.
No. But yes, thank you so much for tuning in and watching our silly shenanigans once again.
Yeah.
Well, just as a reminder, if you do like what we do, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, leave a comment down below if you want, and ring the notification bell so you are notified of our next videos, which are every Wednesday and every Saturday.
See you in the next one.
I just saw Pete reeling because I did that in the wrong order.
You did it in the same.
Sorry.
You did it in the same order as Taylor. It's really weird.
I got everything
Pete
out,
believes
didn't
that there's
I?
a correct order.
Like, comment, subscribe.
I'm not sorry to Pete. Goodbye, guys.
Take care, everybody.